Greetings! I'll show you how to build an outdoor wall spot. It takes about 4 hours and it will cost you about $10 each. When you go to the store, you see that it costs a lot more, namely $55, at least in Sweden. So that's why I want to build it myself. To make it durable, I'll use a handle from a drawer and an OSB board. OSB stands for Oriented Strand Board. The scrap board I used happened to be painted white, and that's good for making a reflection of the light. This is how it looks like when it's finished. Notice the bolts on each side of the LED lamp. This is the material you'll need. A transformer approved for outdoor use. And you'll need a LED lamp. This one costs only $4. And some solder for soldering. And you'll need a terminal block, and they are very cheap. You will need some scrap cable, and that you can get for free if you destroy some electrical equipment. A metal cup handle, or if you want to make it even cheaper, you can use just aluminum foil that will be strengthened by the paint that we put on it. Surgeon tape or band-aid, some scrap wood, any type of wood will do, even plastic actually. Some scrap paint, I prefer dark colors, and some super glue or even glass silicone for aquariums and such, and a sturdy plastic bag. The tools you'll need are pen and paper, a ruler, and compasses, or just a round object of your taste, and a pair of scissors and nail clippers and a saw or a hole saw, a file for wood and a file for metal, a knife and a power drill, and drill bits. One is 5 millimeters and the bigger one is 19 or 20 millimeters, and a soldering iron and 2 screwdrivers, a big one and a small one, and a hammer and a small paintbrush. I checked the voltage of my transformer, and there is 12 volts, so it's okay. Red leader is positive, black leader is negative. I checked the LED lamp, that is also called LED filament, so that it lights up. Oh yes, it does. I can actually switch the positive-negative pole and it still lights up, and that is because the chip is intelligent. It has a rectifier, and I can use AC or DC current. This is how to start the project. Take a piece of paper, put the cup handle on it, and write with a pencil the contour of the handle, also inside the handle. And also mark the holes for the bolts. I have used red color here to show you that position. And finally, draw a circle around the whole thing, as big as you want the plate to be. This is how my template looks when I finished it. And you see that I write also the circle form on the piece of wood. I also mark the position for the holes for the bolts, and for the LED filament. The LED lamp is actually exactly 20 millimeters in diameter. Here I am drilling the holes for the bolts. Now I'm drilling the hole for the LED lamp, and I use this 19 millimeter drill bit of mine, and after that I'm drilling on the back side so that it touches the center of the recent hole. You see the position of the new hole, because I want a diagonal channel through the wood so I can solder properly. And I keep on making smaller holes right to the edge to make a channel for the power cords. And those cords are about 15 millimeters long. Good job. Keep on drilling. Keep on drilling to make the ditch for the cords. I made different versions on different lights, but the best version is to make straight down towards the ground. Sorry that I don't show you this here. That is because when you mount the lights on a wall, for example, you want to have a tail hanging out to make the connection to the power cord. Here I'm checking if the lamp fits, and it does. 20 millimeter lamp in 19 millimeter hole. The 4 millimeter bolts that was included with a cup handle are too long. The threaded holes in the handle are only 2 millimeters deep, so I have to cut them with a hacksaw. If I make the screws too short, I can always make the holes wider in the wood board. The cut gets always a little uneven, so I have to use my metal file. Come on. Work it. Work it. Faster. Faster. Good. I made the screw a little too short, so I make the hole in the wood a little conical, so the screw goes deeper into it. Now I'm cutting the corners on the wood board, and finally it will make a circular shape. But first I do it step by step, like this. You could buy a special hole saw, but that I don't have. This is after cutting, and now it's time to make the corners round with my wooden file. And now it looks like this, almost circular. Just trimming the channel a little. Please learn from my mistakes and make the channel go straight down, vertical down, not to the side. And you will be happier than I was. First drilling a few holes with 5 millimeters diameter drill bit, then using the screwdriver and hammer to make the channel even. Time to solder the power cords, and as I told you, it doesn't matter which one is positive and which one is negative. Just do it, because the LED lamp is intelligent in this case. I actually burnt myself quite severely when I did this. It took a month to heal, so don't do that. Be careful, safety first. Then be a man and don't whine about it. Success, let it cool. And now the other cord. And finally, there it was, success again. Time to insulate the cords with some electrical tape, so if it rains or if it snows it will withstand the damp and not get a shortcut. And I use different colors. I use red and green just because of the camera, so it will show you more clearly what I'm doing, because as I told you, the ship is intelligent and doesn't care if it is positive or negative on the different poles. Now I put some surgical tape or band-aid on the cords. That tape is very strong and durable, and after painting it, it will also be waterproof. Time to test the lamps if they are still working, because there were lots of vibrations during the build. Luckily, no lamp has broke. I opened the paint can with my special paint can opener that has a bottle opener on the opposite side. That's my favorite. Time to stir the paint, but this is newly bought, so in the store they already shook it a lot. So I can just go straight on painting. Start with a rim if you are smart. I did not, but I learned that was the best way. And after you painted the rim, you paint the upper surface. I avoid to paint on the screws because I want this to be possible to repair in the future. Most modern equipment are impossible of repairing. They are soldered or just pressed together or made in some other way, so it's impossible to mend. First coat of paint should be thin and the second coat should be thicker. Between painting, I put the brush in a plastic bag so it stays soft. Please pay attention if you see some light leakage. No, it looks really tight. Otherwise, I had to put on more paint. Time to put on the little window. I take my plastic bag, place it in front of the cup handle, and I cut with my scissors, roughly first, and then more thoroughly. After that, I put on some super glue on the rim of the handle, and the super glue hardens by the moist in the air. So if sometimes it's hard to get it hardened because the air can't come through the plastic. So maybe then you have to use 2-component glue, but it worked all right for me with this one component glue, this simple super glue. Snip snip with the nail clippers at last. I had to put on more super glue at the end to seal it. You could also use glass silicone. I put markings on my mountain wall where to put these lights. And I used this special PL400 construction glue. It's very strong and actually elastic. I avoid the screw heads to make it possible to repair in the future. I actually didn't need to put on long time pressure. I just put it right on the wall and left it there. That's how easy it is to work with this PL400. The next video will be about the installing process in detail. Stay tuned and see you later.